Hey guys, okay, now this is a video that I never thought I'd do because poaching eggs has eluded me for 40 years. Thanks to my wonderful father-in-law, Ivan Smith. Ivan, this video is dedicated in your honour. Ivan taught me how to poach an egg perfectly and it is so easy. Oh my goodness. In fact, I'm going to call out Gordon Ramsey. I have seen how Gordon Ramsey poaches an egg and he makes the water all swirly and makes, I don't know, in my mind that's complicated. I'm going to show you the easiest way to poach an egg. First of all, I'm embarrassed to say that I once bought this for poaching eggs and it's got these little things in that you put the eggs in because I always loved to poach eggs but I could never do them perfectly, so I bought this and it worked fine, but I had kids. And kids want in on whatever you're having, and I could only do 4 at a time and it just got complicated. This way you can do lots of eggs at a time. I can still use this pan to poach eggs, however I just take that out and it's a pretty good size actually, so you know, it's not a total loss. The one thing you will absolutely need is fresh eggs. Now of course we've got our own chickens. They're all slightly different shades. The colour of the shell makes no difference to the taste. Nutritional value, nothing. That's a myth. Just putting that out there. Now, so you will need very fresh eggs. The ones you get from the supermarket, who knows how long they've been sitting around. Even if they say they're free range eggs. If you haven't got a really nice fresh egg, you know, preferably within a week of it being laid, so I'd recommend you go to a farmer's market or something if you haven't got your own chickens. You know, just ask them, they'll know how old their eggs are. But yeah, if you haven't got a nice fresh egg, it's just going to break up and go everywhere. Now the other thing to stop it from breaking up and going everywhere in the pan is vinegar. Now I will show you an experiment I did because I have heard you can do this without vinegar. And so of course I had a bit of a play because I was pretty keen to try that. I was pretty keen for it to work. Okay, so this was my quick side-by-side experiment. Obviously I've sped up the clip so you don't have to see the whole thing. But I did measure. Obviously the one on the left has vinegar, the one on the right without vinegar. Now I got my husband's thermometer and tested the water. They were both exactly the same temperature. Both eggs were laid that morning by chickens, so they were about the same size. So I made the conditions as equal as I could. So, and as you can see, you know, the one with vinegar's rolling around together quite nicely, and the one without just, well, it did exactly what it's been doing for the last 40 years for me. Well, it just kind of went everywhere. It's kind of clear that, yeah, vinegar wins. Drop the microphone. You'll need a pan. You can use a frying pan with, you know, you can use sort of a deep frying pan, or you can use a pot, whatever floats your boat, as long as it's, you know, deep enough to completely immerse the egg, then you can use anything. I have filled that up with water. Going to add some vinegar, just some of this stuff, just Pam's malt vinegar. I've heard you can use pretty much any kind of vinegar though, and there is no scientific method to this. This is what Ivan did. Splash. And that's basically it. A lot of professional chefs will say swirl, 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 round and round, and you know, no, just let it sit and just let it heat up. And I'm just going to slowly heat that up. Now you don't want it to get to a rolling boil, you want it just at the point before it starts boiling. You just want it so that little bubbles are forming on the bottom. And yeah, it's not quite boiling, so if it's at a rolling boil it'll just break the egg up regardless. Right, see how that is just on the verge of boiling. It's got little bubbles on the bottom but it's not quite boiling yet. So I'm just going to turn the heat off. I'm going to put my toast down to cook. And to crack my eggs. Now, if you want to, you can get a cup or a ramekin and crack your egg into that if you're afraid of, yeah, ramekin, that's what I call my daughter Sam. Don't call her Sam. And just very gently dollop it down in there. Now it may look at first as though it's going everywhere. Trust me. Right. So I'm going to do 4 at once here. kids have quickly become very accustomed to having poached eggs while I've been practicing. I'm kind of that's fine. Look how that's what now you want to put on your timer. If you want lovely runny yolks, you want about 3 minutes. If you want them still runny but slightly more on the fudgy side, 4 minutes. You can go 5 minutes if you want them sort of firm, fudgy, not too runny. So, you know, just experiment. It'll depend on the size of your eggs as well. But you will see that they will start coming together. That's 3 minutes. Now get my slotted spoon. Yeah, but that was the first one to come in. Oh, look at that thing of loveliness. Pop that on a piece of toast. Oh, look at that. That is perfection. I'll cut that open in a second.
It really does look like a proper tea.
Well, that's pretty damn good.
Oh, look at that. See, they're not perfect. Some people like to trim the sides and that sort of thing, but yeah, I just think that's a waste of sniggy. Look at that. That is beautiful. Now slice into that. Ha ha ha. That is perfectness. The kids will get annoyed with me for slicing their eggs for them, but, you know, it's all in the name of art. Look at that. Look at that. A lovely orangey yolk. Those are free range eggs.